What's up everyone, and welcome to Big Brother 16 What You Didn't See Week 7. Basically, I'm going to tell you everything that's been happening on the live feeds that you may or may not see on the broadcast episodes. So, let's get started. From what we last saw, Caleb failed to throw the Battle of the Block competition, making Frankie win it all by himself, leaving Donnie and Zach on the block, which makes Nicole no longer HOH and Christine the sole remaining HOH. Immediately following the Battle of the Block competition, there was a huge blowout between Zach and Frankie in front of everyone. Zach basically called Frankie out for talking shit behind his back. Frankie didn't deny anything and said he wanted to hold a house meeting to explain himself. At first, Zach wanted nothing to do with this house meeting and didn't even want to listen to him at all, but he finally obliged and just followed Frankie and heard him out. Frankie reveals that he has lied about trying to get certain people on the block, such as Derek, Cody, and Zach. Zach said he is done with Frankie because of all the rumors he has spread around the house. He called him the biggest liar for turning on his alliance. Zach says he has been nothing but loyal and is pissed that Frankie has been throwing him under the bus all this time. Both Cody and Caleb join Zach in getting into Frankie. They call him out on all his lies and about how Frankie has been trying to get Cody up on the block this week. Zach pretty much called Frankie out on everything he has done wrong in this game, and Frankie pretty much admitted to all of it, which is kind of surprising. Immediately following this big blowout, Frankie reveals his Grande secret to Derek, Caleb, Cody, and Zach in the fire room. He starts off by saying that he has been lying to them about who he is for the entirety of the game. He said he is a YouTuber, TV personality, and has 1.5 million followers. Derek then asks something about him being Amanda Grande's brother or something, to which Frankie immediately responds by saying no, he's Ariana Grande's brother. He said the only reason he didn't tell anyone was to protect her. He also went on to say that he self-supports himself and is struggling financially. He then went on to say that he's not playing for the money at all and is playing for a charity, which is building homes and feeding kids in Africa. He then constantly talked about how many followers he has and how paranoid he was that people would find out who he was and because of how famous he is, and he didn't want anyone to recognize him in the house, but yeah, right. He talked himself up a lot, like he boosted his own ego for quite a long time. He also said that he's the only one allowed to say the name Ariana Grande. I don't know why, but apparently no one else can say it but him. He basically thinks he's an A-list celebrity. He reassured everyone that that's the only thing he lied about. He basically just omitted 2 years of his life, quote unquote. He said that he was still on Broadway, yada yada yada, still had kept all the same jobs he had. He just never told him about the famous side of his life. He then starts revealing everything he's been doing in this game. His plans to get Zach out, how he formed an alliance with Hayden and Nicole to vote Zach out in order to be in the majority side. I don't know what he's doing here. Cody and Derek made sure to mention that they were the ones to keep Zach, and they were the ones to change Frankie's mind. The guys then hound him and ask him if Christine has been involved in anything he's been doing. Frankie then says that the reason he is telling everyone this and the reason that he's spilling all this info is because that there's nothing else left for him and that he is sorry and freaked out and wants to keep the Detonator Alliance strong now. He said he got freaked out and just couldn't deal with it anymore. His grandfather passing had a major influence and impact on this decision. Caleb actually told Frankie that if they weren't in this house, he would kick the shit out of him. To his face. Wow. They all agree that Frankie is an amazing human being, but his game just sucks. Derek then makes it a point to say that nobody else in the room has been lying about who they are. Derek, you're a cop. Donnie pretty much walked in mid-conversation. He just strolled in and told Frankie that it was all cool and it was cool that he was a celebrity and had such a following. Caleb then comes round and forgives Frankie because Frankie said he would introduce him to Justin Bieber. Caleb honestly thinks he's gonna record with him. After this discussion, Frankie goes to hug all the boys and they all accept this offer besides Zach. Zach refuses the hug and says he doesn't want it. Everyone else gives in and gives Frankie all the love. During this time, Donnie gave Zach an epic speech because Zach is down in the dumps at this moment. He feels completely betrayed by Frankie. He's pretty much on the verge of tears. He's like whining around, moping, and is feeling like he's going home at this point. And Donnie gives him this epic speech to pick him up. He told him this speech while he was eating this bowl of cereal. He was saying how he should be grateful that he's here, how great an opportunity this is, how everything will be fine, and that we will all be here in the end and share this amazing experience together. He said, "There ain't no other season that had an evil dick, but we had our Zach." It was like the cutest moment ever. Frankie sits the girls down in the living room and immediately gets down to it. He gets the girls to try and guess by revealing his last name. Nicole finally clues in after many hints dropped by Frankie. I guess he's not as famous as he thinks. The girls are shocked, and Victoria's face is pretty priceless. He basically goes about it the same way as he did with the boys, minus any of the game talk. And definitely he mentions about his grandfather and about how he's eating him up inside, and that's why he revealed this secret now. Victoria then starts screaming as in shock. He's again pretty smug about the whole situation. Caleb chimes in again about how he promised that he would introduce him to Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber and how he's going to get recording time with Justin Bieber. Victoria then says Frankie owes it to her for her to be able to meet Ariana. The girls are fairly impressed about how famous he is, and even though he's not actually famous, he's basically, in my opinion, as famous as a Big Brother player is going into the house, and since he is a Big Brother, he's like the same level of fame, if that makes any sense. The guys then start talking about how he was probably still lying about how Christine was not involved in any of this. Derek says that him revealing all of this is a game move for Frankie, and that his back is against the wall, and this is the only way to get people on his side. The guys still do not trust Frankie at all. Derek says that if Donnie wins veto and anyone other than Nicole or Victoria go up, they will know the truth about where Frankie and Christine stand. Christine mentions that that's probably why there's no America's Player this year, because of what happened last year with Alyssa. Little does Christine know that Frankie is part of Team America. Cody thinks he's the backdoor plan because he still doesn't trust Frankie and Christine, and he's constantly paranoid, but Christine told him otherwise. Cody revealed that if Frankie said he was Ariana Grande's brother on day one, he would probably go home. Derek, Cody, and Zach are now very aggravated that now everyone is so starstruck. Surprisingly, Victoria actually gets it. She's in the game. She told Derek that what Frankie said doesn't affect the game at all, and that Frankie is using this as a crutch to get him further. She also said that if people start treating him differently, then he's already won. In one single hour, the entire house went from hating Frankie to Frankie prancing around all happy and people ogling at him. Derek and Zach are very frustrated that Frankie is actually in the game. They don't think it's fair that someone with such a following is allowed in the game where outside influence does have some involvement. They also don't think that Frankie should have been able to play the Battle of the Block competition by himself. Personally, I think it truly could have gone either way with Frankie. He chose the right time to reveal this secret. It could have gone horribly if he revealed it at the wrong time. So it's not like this secret is an automatic advantage to him in the game. If he used it poorly, it could have been his demise, but he just seemed to use it properly. He is safe this week and he's now able to use his magic until next Thursday at least. Zach and Derek are sure that Frankie is going to win America's Favorite Player this year. Their case being that Alyssa won last year and Rachel's following did not have nearly as many followers as Ariana Grande's. Zach is unbelievably depressed and pissed that Frankie screwed him over so hard. He's pissed that Frankie's playing for schools in Africa and thinks that no one would ever vote him out for that reason. Derek and Cody are now actually afraid to go on the block against him, thinks that no one will now vote him out since he's playing for charity. Derek thinks that Frankie is being truthful with everything he's been saying this evening, so he truly believes that it's either Nicole or Christine who are lying about targeting the boys. For some reason, a lot of the people in the house think that Frankie is going to win the game now that he's revealed this secret. Derek, Caleb, and Nicole were chosen to play in the Power of Veto competition with Victoria as the host, and it seems like it was the classic OTEV competition. The winner of the OTEV Power of Veto is Zach Attack! After the Power of Veto competition, Zach and Victoria have a heart-to-heart in the beehive, and Zach spilled everything to her. Victoria is fairly upset by this because she thought that Derek was in a true alliance with her and thought that if they were in a true alliance that Derek would tell her all these things, and thinks that Derek has been kind of playing her, and she thought that she was in the same kind of caliber as Cody was to him. Zach then lies to Derek, telling him that Nicole told Victoria all this information to cover his back. Victoria then goes to Nicole with all this information, freaking out to her and leaking everything about Derek. Victoria and Nicole go on a little bit of a Derek hate train, saying that he accuses people of coming after him when they don't tell him the things he wants to hear. Derek then comes at Nicole super pissed in the HOH room because he thinks that she leaked all this information to Victoria. Derek and Nicole hash it out, where he ends up saying that he's going to confront Zach and Victoria and get to the bottom about who's spreading the rumors about him. Derek brings Victoria into the room and basically gets really mad at her for believing in Zach's lies and not coming to him first before revealing everything to Nicole as well. Derek says he feels upset with Victoria because if they truly were an alliance, she would come to him without spreading rumors behind his back and not coming to him first with all this information. Derek then finally calms down and everyone starts talking nice about everything and the whole thing. Vic then reveals it was Zach, not Nicole, who told her all this information. Victoria cries many tears thinking that Derek is mad at her for believing Zach. Derek then calls a house meeting where basically Victoria gets put on blast for believing in Zach. Zach then admits he lied right away about Nicole telling Victoria when it was actually him. Zach even yells at Victoria for listening to him and taking it way too hard. He says that Derek is the only person in this house that has her back and it would be stupid for her not to trust him. Even though Zach basically reveals everything about the game to the entire house and pretty much how Derek has been running the entire game and playing everyone, Derek still comes out smelling like roses. I truly think Derek has superpowers. Zach and Frankie made up together and were seemingly back together and in it to win it. Zach actually said that he felt that Frankie was cheating on him, and Frankie then said he felt the same way. Zach then later reveals that he still doesn't trust Frankie and took everything he said with a grain of salt. He also told Victoria that the first chance he gets, he wants to take Frankie out. Cody was actually able to manipulate Christine into targeting Nicole this week. Cody told Christine that there was a plan set by Nicole to backdoor her last week. This info and Cody's charming smile was enough to set Christine's sights on Nicole this week. Zach uses the veto on himself and is then replaced by Nicole. Uh-oh. Nicole is now the target because apparently Christine wants to be the last woman standing in the house. I don't think that's gonna happen with Derek's claws in Victoria. The only two people who have not seen the block are the Hitmen, Derek and Cody, and still no one sees it. Nicole told Donnie that she thought Christine and Cody were secretly married because they seemed so close and were always touching. This was debunked when she saw the HOH pictures of Christine and her husband Tim. The other night, Derek, Cody, and Christine were all sitting in the hammock outside when they heard a car horn honking with a "We love Big Brother!" followed by a "We love you, Zach!" Christine immediately goes to say that that's disgusting that they said Zach's name. Derek thought the whole situation was pretty cool and kind of fanboyed out at the whole thing. Christine did not want anyone to tell Zach to boost his ego. So it seems unfortunately Nicole is going home this week. I'd never wanted to see Nicole and Donnie on the block together. It just seems like Nicole doesn't get it. She seems aware that Derek is running the show, but still tells him everything. She has no plans to try and flip the script back on those guys. She's going home at this point. She did, however, say that she's still got some fight in her and she's not going to stop until the last second. So I hope something happens this week. I think I would rather see Donnie go home over her. I don't like this guy one-sided season, but we'll see what happens. So that's all I have for this episode of Big Brother 16 What You Didn't See Week 7. If you liked what you saw, scroll on down to that like button and make it turn blue and I would greatly appreciate it. If I gave you any false information, I am terribly sorry. I pull all my information from the live feeds and the forums online. Be sure to tune in next week and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.